And we're back here. Sorry, Lou, didn't mean to cut you off there. All excited about some gambling stuff out there. Of course, second hour main event Thursdays means this guy joins us. Not Dale Hellistry like it says on the screen. Uncle Lou joins us here as well. Gamblu.com. Follow him at Gamblu on X as well for behind the paywall, no longer behind the paywall updates that he gives you there on X as well. Lou, first of all, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Happy to be here, talking with my hands hitting the mic. Wore a shirt that would show up against my
brick background.
It's required now in my contract.
Yes.
With Steve's show that I have a red brick background.
Oh, I just don't like people go, why does Lou look transparent today?
Yeah, no, we need some contrast here. You know, everything is good. Life is good. The Super Bowl.
Yeah, how did you survive the Super Bowl?
I survived it well. It was great. We
heads was the call.
Yes, it was. We had tails, loser. We had the game to final, the final score to be odd, loser. Yeah. But we had Seattle minus 7.5 winner plus money.
Yeah.
We had Seattle minus 8.5 better plus money 166 winner.
Plus 166 on that?
On the 8.5 plus 135 or so on the 7.5.
Either of those plus numbers are nice.
We had Seattle to have a special teams or defensive touchdown at 4-1. Now these were all half-unit bets and way reduced. This is, as we discussed.
It's not your normal $10,000 bet, Lou?
Well, no. But they were
ridiculous. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, folks. I don't bet. I've never made a $10,000 bet. But they were recreational. They were fun. It was fun. We had great food. It's over.
Yeah.
Now focus absolutely shifts to everything else, world-based. If you look at the Gamblu webpage, I've got a bunch of futures on.
Yep, we'll show that here in just a second.
College World Series, World Baseball Classic, NHL hockey. We got to touch them all.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to talk a lot about that here today. But first, look, no Sneak Tea podcast this week. No Bout Business, obviously. No UFC this week.
Yep.
They don't want to be bashing people's brains in on Valentine's Day. They want to have a romantic night. A lot of hugging out. They could have just put a bunch of heavyweights in there or wrestlers in there to just hug it out all night long. But
so somebody tell Mrs. Gamblu.
I do have some questions on last week. It's just a couple of those fights. We'll get into that. But first, new year, you're changed some things up. Nothing's behind the paywall anymore. They go to Gamblu.com. So tell everybody about Gamblu.com, where they can find you and all that stuff, Lou.
Yes, I am a sports handicapper. I have over the course of 50 years, gone from just liking to gamble and thinking it was neat to adopting business tenets and applying business strategies to gambling. And that's very easy for any Omaha person to understand because when we grew up with Warren Buffett always offering advice in the local newspapers on investing. And you don't have to be a rocket scientist to just listen to what Warren says and then mimic that.
He's done all right for himself.
I just took what he and Mr. Munger said and eventually began to apply it to sports gambling. And the tenets, the principles are simple. Be selective. When everybody's left, go right. When you buy something, hold it. Don't be in a hurry. Very simple stuff. So I come with a real business background. I'm a commercial realtor, and I try and address sports gambling as a business, meaning you heard for 2 weeks, let's have some fun with this Super Bowl. What does that mean? Well, we're going to bet a 50-1 shot here.
Yeah.
Well, 50-1, 80-1, that might sound exciting except for one thing. You ain't cashing those tickets, or you do so rarely. I'm not into trying to monetize some big, huge law. I'm trying to cash tickets and win money. And so with that in mind, I created a Gamblu.com webpage, and the webpage basically takes you through everything I do, from who I am, what my mission statement is, the sports I work, everything else. We have a nice blog this week about all the future bets I have now moving forward from football.
I got them all here. We'll talk a little bit about them here coming up. Yeah, absolutely. That's what the blog's for. Yeah.
That's what the blog's for. As we scroll down, there's the Bout Business and Sneak Teat podcast. Now, I do a Sneak Teat podcast every Sunday. That's opening line report for the UFC. And then on Friday, our final results. You can access them at the Gamblu webpage, or you can access them wherever you get your podcasts. Now, Kobe's been kind enough to go back to the top of the screen where you see the bands there. Each week, Steve's really generous in allowing me a couple minutes to talk about the oldest mission in the United States, the San Xavier Del Bac mission, located south of Phoenix, just south of Tucson, Arizona here, erected in the 1690s is how old this is. These people are doing amazing work down there for the community. I'm a big proponent of it. I'm pro-Arizona. This is as pro-Arizona and as indigenous of Arizona as you can get. I've included a link on the webpage that you can tap and go straight to the San Xavier Del Bac mission page directly. We contribute regularly to them. We're proud to say we do, and we're proud to feature them, and we're even prouder that Steve lets us mention it.
Absolutely.
Every single week.
Yeah, no, it's a big deal. Like you said, oldest mission at 1600s. It was built. They're redoing it.
That's
right now.
before I was born, even Steve.
Imagine what Tucson looked like back in the 1652 or 1692, whenever it was. They're renovating it right now based off of some donations, and then they got some government grants. They do some schooling work down there as well. They have schools that they work with next door, stuff to that. So it is a good cause and help, of course, that there. And it's a nice little church to visit while you're down there. You can walk in as long as they shut it down if they have mass, but mass doesn't last too long. So you have to wait outside when that happens. But otherwise, you can just go roam through it and see the old stuff in there.
And on the weekends, they have like those little bazaars or fairs there in the yard, and you can get some of the best, first of all, the best Mexican food, the Sonoran-style Mexican food in the whole world's in Tucson. Phoenix don't do too bad, I'm just saying. But Tucson, I'm telling you, and this place, you just go from little table to little table, and it's people with their crock pots, and you're thinking, oh, I don't know, do I want to? Oh, yes, you do want to.
The lines are long. When we were there after our El Paso trip, our New Mexico trip, the lines were long for that stuff.
Yes, because the food is so doggone good.
Yeah, so glad we could support that and give a nod to them down there as well. And I'm a big architecture guy, and we tend to raise our old buildings here to build newer ones, and that one's still standing down there, and it's on the Indian tribes' land as well, so it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yep.
They'll protect it down there as well. But so that's all happening. You survived the Super Bowl. You survived your cooking and everything. Yeah,
I went to a local grocery store here and got a beef tenderloin. Had them, strip all the silver whatever you call it off of there.
I call it the tinfoil, but I know what you mean.
And we cooked it out over an open fire, and I had one little piece that I cooked too much because I have a son that likes meat. I hate to even admit this, like medium. And you take a...
You're insulted that it's medium?
I'm insulted by it, but I make it how he wants it. But I also had the bigger half over here. My mom was here, my mother-in-law was here, my wife and me. And we eat medium rare meat, and I had that cooked perfectly. I'm telling you, we had some nice hard crust bread and a little bit of creamy horseradish. Holy moly, it was good, and we really enjoyed the whole Super Bowl. The ladies, of course, were all over the commercials. They wanted the commercials, and then of course at halftime, there's two shows. We don't have to get into that because
Did you switch?
We did. They watched.
I watched them both. So
they watched the Kid Rock halftime. Yeah. I was in the office.
Yeah,
looking at investments.
I go and cook dinner during halftime. So that's what I did.
It's 35 minutes. You got a whole.
But I went back and watched them both because I was curious on it. I just don't understand the Bad Bunny music. Obviously, I'm not his person to go to. I don't understand the language and stuff. But even the Kid Rock one I found very dull and kind of stale. They recorded that like a few days earlier, and things like that.
I like Kid Rock. He's entertaining. The other stuff seemed real country western to me. That's the one kind of music that I'm still trying to learn how.
You don't? Oh, really?
Yeah. Now don't get me wrong. I've been to Dwight Yoakam concerts.
So you're going old. No, if you grew up, that's the problem. If you grew up in that country era, you struggle with today's country.
Well, I just struggle with country. Yeah. Listen, my first concert ever was Johnny Cash. So that was my first impression.
Yeah.
So Johnny Cash, Patsy Cline. Who's
all-
the young kid?
All downhill from there, Lou.
Who's the young kid that used to do the Monday Night Football? Hank Williams Jr.
Yeah.
Now see, I like Hank Williams Jr. because he wears a cowboy hat,
Outlaw
but that
country.
dude is like Dwight Yoakam.
Yeah,
he can't help himself. He's a rock and roller,
Yeah.
but he wears a cowboy hat. So I
his
can
dad, yeah.
I can embrace some of it. But for me, Steve, if I want to listen to blues, I'm listening to Muddy Waters or Buddy Guy. I don't
going that route?
I listen to
We got to train you, Lou.
the Brothers blues, not the white man blues.
I listen to all sorts of music and everything, and I pride myself on that. But I mean, I go old school country. I can go 90s country is my all-time favorite. And then today's country, though, it's just hit or miss, man. It's just
I couldn't even name an artist, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was the problem with that. That's what I thought was. That's what I meant by stale with that alternate one. Was I was like, yeah, and then Kid Rock only did one song, and
I think that sentiment at our house was that we would have watched paint dry instead of the other.
Well, we're not the market on it. I know people are like, but and if they have that attitude and don't understand why we wouldn't be into the Bad Bunny halftime show, then I can't help you.
I just
it's not our genre.
Don't get it. Don't get me wrong. We live in Phoenix, Arizona. We're in Sonora. We're in the old Azteca area.
But Puerto Rican is a different.
It's a little
language than
dialect.
Spanish,
a little different. Now that said, I've never been to Miami, and doggone it, would I like to go to Miami? I'd love to check
That's
that
the Cuban
culture.
side down there,
I'd love to try my language. I speak some Spanish, but it's Mexican Spanish, so I'd love to try that dialect there and see what.
Yeah, I have a friend that speaks fluent. He grew up. He's Mexican, and he grew up, speaking, Spanish.
It's a different dialect,
and even he was like, I struggled with that parts and stuff. Yeah.
And then the last thing, what I'd love to go to Miami for, the food, because I'm all about Cuban food and those sandwiches and any kind of cultural cuisine I love.
And they infuse it into like American stuff and everything.
Whatever they do, I'd be all about it.
My Super Bowl dinner. Lou?
Yes, what was that?
We went all out.
In and out.
Noodle. Might be worse. Noodles, freshly grated cheese, and hamburgers. Macaroni and cheese and hamburgers. That was the deal.
Hey, you know what? The Super Bowl. First of all, who wants to be slaving over?
Yes,
I was stressing over my meat out there on that fire.
And that's the thing. I was like, I can go grill. I can do all that. And I'm like, I want to watch the game.
Right.
Cook at halftime. Be back in time for the second half.
Right.
We went simple. But we had vegetable trays and stuff like that.
But let me just say something.
Full, so.
A well done mac and cheese is hard to beat.
I make a good one, Lou. Not to toot my own horn.
I bet.
I can make a good one.
Now,
the big noodles, and you grate the cheese up, and it's all soft.
Do you have any crispy in there? Is there anything?
Put it in the oven. Put it in the oven.
To
brown
give
the
a
top.
little. Yeah. Oh yeah. Ooh, baby.
Yeah, brown the top. You know what? That's bad. I don't do leftovers, but I will eat leftover macaroni and cheese.
Uh-huh.
And I
You don't do leftovers.
I don't do leftovers at all. And I love that crunch afterwards the next day.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so amazing.
Yeah.
Lou, I'm getting hungry over
Me
here.
too. Jeez,
We went simple, but
we're gonna take a quick break and go down the street and get a sandwich.
So we went simple, but yeah, that's the thing. Normally I usually go to the Waste Management Open on Sunday, and we decided to pass it this year. You didn't want to go out there and walk around with my leg conditions and stuff like that. So we skipped it. So we went to the movies and relaxed a little bit. So give us a little bit more time and relax. But normally I go to the Waste Management Open, and then I'll order like Outback or something on the way home. A steak, pick it up, drive it home, eat it at home, and watch the beginning of the game type of a deal.
What a great day that is.
Yeah.
Waste Man, and the tournament was great leading right into the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the playoff at the end.
I used to
there.
always go to the Sunday, but anymore the Sunday Waste Management. I used to go because all the college kids have had 4 nights of the Bird's Nest and drunk, and they're not waking up at 7 to go watch golf.
Busy now. They're all there.
But you're right. Now it's busy on Sunday, and
last
so
couple
Uncle Louie
years.
don't go no more.
Yeah, record crowds on Sunday these last couple
Crazy.
of years and stuff
Crazy.
like that. So Robert says, Hank Jr., the young kid? Because you call him a young kid.
Yeah,
well, compared to his dad.
Yes,
but he
Robert,
goes, dude's a
compared to
decade
me.
old. Robert says, dude's a decade older than me.
Well, sorry, Robert. I got
Robert,
a few
your age.
I got a few treads on this tire, Robert.
That just cracks me up. Well, I refer to him as a young guy too, but that's just because his dad, obviously.
Freaking Robert don't miss a beat.
You knew his
this
dad.
guy.
No, he catches everything.
He is. He's here to catch us if we're snoozing.
Really quick, I know you had some money down on the Waste Management Open for some top 5 finishes there. How'd you end up there?
I did, and I sucked the exhaust pipe. I had
Now,
I had
you
three
go through-
players.
You go through golfer handicapping people. It's not you sitting down, right? You talk to.
I go
talk
through
to
my
friends
buddies,
stuff
and,
like
and then
that,
he
yeah.
calls me. He texts me. Oh, hey Lou, I'm sorry because the one kid Lee Li I had day one he was right there. Day two he had like 7 straight bogeys
Yeah,
and he
fell
missed the
apart.
cut.
Yeah.
And my buddy felt all bad. I'm like, hey, I'm a big boy, man. I asked you, and it's on me.
Yeah.
So I blow Lee. I blow Keith Mitchell. I blow another kid. An Australian that I really felt good would be in the top 20. He ended up like 25. And so all 3 of my top 25, my top 20 guys failed. And
Yeah.
so, and which is why in sports other than what I work, I go easy. I have fun. It was a great tournament to
It
watch.
was, yeah.
I will say this, right before the extra whole playoff, I took the kid that won at
Got her?
minus 107 or something.
Is that all he was?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Nice.
because I thought Hideki, first of all,
He'd struggled all day.
well, right, and that blow up on 18 had to affect his mind. Meanwhile, as soon as we saw that, if you're watching the tournament, what was the other kid's name he played?
Got her up.
Got her up.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as Goddard saw Hideki hit that drive, he got her up.
Yeah.
He started getting clubs in his hands.
Yeah.
He knew he was in a playoff.
Yeah, it was a fun tournament, like always around here. It was nice to see the turnout, and we'll see what the charity numbers are.
The weather was
coming
great
up as well, right? I had one person that was out there that was like, "Oh my god!" He goes, "I've never remember being that hot out there." Mid 80s, but you're out there, the sun's just
And you're
beating down
walking,
on
and
you,
if you're not, and you could see as you were watching, a lot of people were standing under the shade.
Yeah, that's
because it believe me, if you're walking around in a golf tournament and it's Phoenix and it's 80, 82,
Yeah.
and the sun's hitting you, you're sweating.
So I have a question. Let's get this out of the way here before we get into the World Baseball Classic, hockey, and stuff like that. No UFC this week, as I said.
Yep.
They come back here on the 21st. They're going to be in Houston, Texas, coming
Texas.
up. Strickland and Hernandez fighting
Yeah.
in this one.
3 Texans on that card.
Really?
Who are they? We'll talk about it next.
Yeah, exactly, right? Strickland's main line is Sean Strickland. I like him a lot against Anthony Hernandez, who I don't know as well. So we'll get that info next week. But my question, there's a couple other big fighter names on here I'm curious about as well. But last week, Apex fight.
Yes, sir.
There. I found it fast. They allowed crowds in there now. They revamped it, and they have a limited crowd in there now.
Yes, from no crowd, they've gone to limited. Exactly.
I was shocked because there was a couple fights where the crowd turned on the fighters. And that's a small environment.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very noticeable on the broadcast that the crowd was not happy with the way some of these guys were fighting and stuff like that. Is that kind of a good thing or bad thing for the Apex fights?
Well, first of all, I think it's something that's going to happen in the UFC fights, no matter where they're held.
Yeah.
And the fact that the UFC now has upped their bonuses, they are encouraging violence and striking and quivering knockouts. It's dumbing down the population that watches the UFC, and so no longer for a guy like me to see Davalishvili fight Umar Nurmagomedov, bantamweights, both grapplers, wrestlers, to see the skillful grappling that each of those would put on one another would be a fascinating fight for me to watch. They did fight once, I think. They fought once, yes. Yet that's not what the UFC wants. They want blood and guts, and so that's dumbing down the crowd, if you will, excuse the expression. The crowd just wants action, and we're starting to see that manifest itself.
Yeah.
In
I was just
these
fascinated
fights.
because in a big arena, people will boo and chant again. But again, it kind of gets drowned out a little bit. I mean, this was people
Oh, yeah.
right next to the cage telling fighters they're sucking. And I was like, wow, that's that's impressive. That's happening. When
Yeah,
they
I
can
don't
hear
think
it,
that buying a ticket allows you to.
Well, they were
hurl.
being. I don't know if they were singing it, but they were booing.
Yes,
They were
exactly.
saying, "Start fighting."
Yeah, no,
break
them
it
up,
up,
stand them up, stand
break
them
them up with
yeah,
that for
right.
the two heavyweights who were just standing against the fence line there.
Yeah, and that was
and
Jailton.
stuff like that.
Jailton's been cut now.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. I see that now, but you going
I
into
had
it kind of
Jailton.
question him, yeah. And how disappointed were you in that?
You know what? I was disappointed because I made the wrong pick on a guy that showed that lethargy in the fight prior.
He didn't look like he wanted to be there.
He's too undersized. And so he announced after the fight he's going back down to 205, which is great except for one thing. No one at 205 going to fight this monster.
He's a big cut dude.
And the UFC said, "Well, thank you very much, but we'll make it even easier for you. You're cut." Now he's gone and he's out. So they don't want. He's a 34, 35-year-old guy who's a tweener weight class.
Well, you even said it last week when you look at him for that heavyweight division. You look at him and you go, "That guy's cut. That guy looks like he's a fighter, and he's everything but that."
He's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu specialist, and so almost the last thing that comes fluently to a BJJ fighter is striking, kicking, and violence. Now, many of them complement their BJJ with Muay Thai, which is a Thai form of striking, kicking. But if you don't come complete with that and you're just BJJ, the evolution to learning striking is such that you're probably not going to make it in the UFC very long in today's UFC.
Now, the way that Jailton fought, does it change your opinion on Kuniev at all with the way he fought?
No, Kuniev has it. I like him. I've seen 2 fights now, and he wants the fight back with Curtis Blades that he lost, arguably didn't lose. But it was a close split decision. He called out him or he called out Salsa Boy, Waldo Cortez Acosta. So we're going to see more of Kuniev. The heavyweight division is in dire straits right now because there's no real flash outside of Aspinall, who's just had 2 eye surgeries.
Yeah,
so
he's going to be out for a while.
We need some light heavyweight and heavyweight action.
The heavyweight guys, though, they got to get into better shape. I get it; they're bigger dudes, but man, even Kuniev came into that ring just a little bit on the heavy side. It looks like they're not in shape. And,
266.
and it's just like, man, that's judging a book. We saw that last week with the 2 guys where they just ran out of juice, and at the end, they're both just on the court and on the floor, just gasping for air and stuff like that. And I go back to the heavyweight days. I know I'm going to go boxing, but Mike Tyson and just big, solid, cut guys going into these fights and everything. And we're seeing the opposite right now in the UFC.
I would tell you, don't judge the fighter by the cover because you can't. You get some guys that look like roly-poly-oly can really fight.
They can knock out.
And then you get a guy like Almeida that looks chiseled out of marble that doesn't want it.
I'll just say that. You shouldn't look like me when you're walking in the ring. That's all I'm going to say.
Or me.
Michael O was the fight before that against Baralt in that fight. Ended up being a Michael O decision, unanimous decision in that fight. Change your opinion on him at all for that fight, going to the distance?
No, changed my opinion on Barrio, the Canadian, who was just tough and durable. And Michael O said after the fight, "Holy cow, I hit that guy with everything."
Seriously.
Michael O got some power. Yeah. Barrio has some durability. I probably underestimated Barrio.
He ate those punches, man. Yeah. I thought that fight would be over earlier, to be honest with you.
Me too.
He just stayed in there. He just stayed in there and stayed in there.
He wouldn't go.
Okay, so you changed your opinion a little bit on him, at least for future fights coming up. The main event, the one Albazi,
That's
loses
the co-main event.
Yeah, loses his fight there, unanimous decision to Horiguchi in that fight. I really like the Japanese fighter and the way he fought in that ring. Was it more him or was it more Albazi in that fight that kind of made it look that way?
Albazi has been madly inactive coming off injuries and such, and he did his best. The difficulty is Horiguchi's a world-class mixed martial artist.
He was everywhere in that ring.
And he's going to be fighting for the title here soon. More than likely, they'll give him Josh Van, and then the winner of that will give a shot to
Pantoja, be a fun fight.
The old champ who's coming off injury.
He was just active. He was, he picked his points. He would go in and get hit and still be able to connect his punches. I was really impressed with him as not remember seeing him before. there for that win on that unanimous decision. I was really impressed with him.
Yes, and he was aggressive, active.
Yes.
So he was trying. You could tell that's a fight you want to see. A guy that's going forward,
Hey,
he's trying to win the fight.
Him and Van will be fun because
Should
they're both that style of fighting. So that was a pleasant surprise from that side. I know. Look at me. Mario Bautista against Oliveira here in this fight. Obviously, Bautista, local kid, up there at MMA Lab as well, gets the win. Submission in the second round, 446 of that. Probably could have been called a little bit earlier on that. You're obviously like Bautista. You've talked highly about him a lot. Impressive victory for him?
Unbelievably impressive victory for him. Here's a guy that was rushed too quick in to get him. And Bautista, when we bet him earlier in a two-team parlay the week before with another fighter, he was minus 200. When that fight went down, you could get him at minus 150. It was a total mistake. We bumped up another bet on him because of it. This was a classic mismatch. The young Brazilian Vinicius is just a bully, and whoever is going to be enamored with his flapping, because all he did was flap before this fight. He can intimidate, but Bautista is a world-class fighter with 14 UFC fights. He's fought Corey Sandhagen. He's fought Umar Nurmagomedov. He's fought world-class fighters, and Vinicius had 4 UFC fights, stepping up in talent in each fight, but he nowhere near the quality of opponent. And so this was a mismatch from the beginning. You saw it play out there. And not only that, Vinicius, as soon as Bautista got the choke in, he's tapping. He wanted out. He knew he was beat. And also, Vinicius won't be at 135 much longer. He'll go to 145.
Okay.
He's a big kid growing.
Yeah. That was the thing. Bautista, that's why I meant it probably could have been over earlier. Bautista, I don't know if he was toying with him or couldn't do it, but you could tell what was coming pretty quickly there for about a minute and a half before it actually happened.
And I'm so proud of the MMA Lab.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of the young man Mario Bautista, who fought great. His call out of Corey Sandhagen was appropriate because in Mario's first UFC fight, they put him in against Sandhagen. And that's 5 years ago. And that Sandhagen's a top 5 player then, still top 5 player. But that fight needs to happen because Mario will get that win back. And I'm tickled for the gym. I'm tickled for Mario. I'm tickled for me.
Yeah, it was a fantastic fight. I was impressed with him because I've seen him fight before, and I don't remember walking away. I'm not saying he's bad, but I walked away really impressed with the way he fought in that ring on Saturday night, more so than I did remember doing so in other fights for him as well. So it's almost like he's improved. That's where I struggle. Did he look so good because of his competition, or has he improved that much since last time we saw him?
Well, you have to also understand his last fight was against the guy that's going to be the champion by the end of the year, Umar Nurmagomedov, and so he fought Umar Nurmagomedov. And by that, I mean he went out and tried to win the fight instead of just survive, like most of Umar's competition does. And he got beat. And he said in the post-fight interview, I didn't like being in the bottom. And so you could see in one roll, Vinicius took Mario down, and Mario bounced up with his shoulder blades and did like a corkscrew and got on top. At that point, right there, I knew this fight's over right there.
Yeah, it was exciting watching, especially knowing he's a local kid. You kind of root for him a little bit more.
Excuse the interruption, he's a quiet man. And he did talk a little in the interview, but he's not the guy that me, flap, flap, flap. And that's what the UFC wants, and that's what sells. Mario's not really wired that way. He lets his fighting do his speaking, and as long as he keeps fighting like that, he can be speaking loud.
There was some more weigh-in problems, at least one that I remember.
Boy.
And then isn't it the greatest feeling in the world when the guy that tries to cheat the weigh-in system then gets his butt kicked?
With 1 second left via submission.
Yeah. We're talking about
putting the cherry on the top of the sundae.
Yeah, 1 second literally is when they did it. It's just Is it just that I know there's guardrails and stuff that if you don't get rate, you have to pay, you get less of a purse, stuff to that. But do they have to come down harder on these guys?
Yeah, that's really my position, is more deterrent. I think there should be more deterrent. Listen, you get at 100, and these guys fought at 145. So no, 135. They were bantams, and he came in at 141.
Yeah.
10 minutes after the weigh-in started, he's just waving a flag. I'm cheating.
Yeah, that's just not even trying.
I'd be happy to give away 25% of my purse as an investment to hold advantage over this fight because it's so important for me to win. That's all they're doing when they do this. Now, there were also two gals in the same fight that missed weight, but when did they come on the scale? With 10 minutes left in the weigh-ins. That's a different thing.
They were trying to.
There you go. Thank you. That's exactly right. They're trying to cut the weight. They can't get it done.
There's a difference of not being able to cut the weight, but you're trying your butt off to get there, and you're trying as hard as you can. There's a difference between that and, like you said, obviously not trying.
There is. And so the deterrent for me is the same. You miss by, first of all, if you're at 135, you get to 136. Now, if you come in and you miss by 1 pound, so you're 137, you lose 1.5 points in the first round. Boom. So you're basically going to lose the first round. There's teeth in that, let me tell you. You poke a guy in the eye in the fight, the first time you do it, you lose 1.5 points in that round. You kick a guy between his legs, you lose a point like that right in the first round.
We're seeing that a lot so far this year, too, for some reason.
Because if you put Uncle Louie teeth in I guarantee all this stuff going to dry up. Now, you may get a groin kick once in a while.
Yeah, it happens.
It can happen.
I mean, Lou, it happens, That's all I can say.
Yeah, but if it happens, you're getting docked 1.5 points. So that's how that's going to work.
These are world-class athletes. They can control their kicks. They know where they're going towards. The other guy moves a certain way. It's controllable. Now, accidents happen. I get it, but you can tell when they're not accidents.
I think I agree with that, and I also think there should be more deterrent. And will we get it? I don't know.
Yeah, I've just gotten annoyed with the weigh-ins where they're not even trying.
Yes, it's just blatant, all-out cheat. I'll give away part of my purse to hold advantage.
Oh, they should have somebody like just sitting on the side that can step in if you're 7 pounds overweight. When you
oftentimes, as you get into the higher-ranked athletes, they know the night before if they're having trouble, so they'll tell the UFC and they'll go to the other camp and they'll try and take away the advantage so that I'm not coming in 5 pounds heavy and this guy had to go through a terrible cut to make the fight. Well,
that would be the thing, right? So, hey, I just can't. I'm 5 pounds over. I cannot drop this. We've done this. We've done this, and they can prove they've done stuff. You go to the other guy, and that other guy goes, all right, well, I need to stop cutting weight then.
Yeah, so
I'll go in. I'm 3 pounds heavy. I'm not going to cut that extra 3 for tomorrow. And then that way it makes it more fair. I think that would be a good compromise.
They agree to a catch weight fight, and that's how a professional handles it. And occasionally you'll see that happen, but it's only with the world class higher end fighters.
A lot more money on the line at that, right? Like these guys are trying to survive in the UFC, right? This was a big fight for what was his name? Gufarov?
Muin Gafarov.
Yeah, it was a big fight for him. So he was just trying to stay alive and that type of stuff. That's where you get into that, where it's kind of gets unfair.
And we had Wickless in that fight.
Yeah, I put money on him last Thursday because of you. So it was nice to see that come through.
Yes.
It was, yeah. So hey, when we come back, let's get into World Baseball Classic talk. Of course, hockey talk as the Olympics men's get underway here in just a couple hours. Over in Italy, the whole men's tournament is fully underway today. Yesterday, a couple games out there as well. We'll talk about that coming up. We do have the World Baseball Classic broadcast schedule out there. We'll get that retweeted out there for everybody coming up as well. So all that and more, including you do have some futures on Major League Baseball, UFC future waivers on your blog as well. NHL to win conference. One of them kind of strikes me as interesting. We'll talk about it. Come on back. The main event with Uncle Lou. Welcome back here to the main event. Of course, Thursdays, 9 o'clock, Uncle Lou. No UFC this week. We just look back at last week here because some of those fights were big ones. Wanted to get his overall thoughts, and I just mentally put those in my head. So next time we see those fighters, we can kind of remember what the thoughts are going into those fights as well. And, of course, he does other stuff, World Baseball Classic, Hardball on his blog. Go to Gamblu.com. Follow him on Twitter, folks, at Gamblu. He puts stuff on there as well. What he normally used to put behind the paywall now goes out there as well, and you get it pretty quickly, Lou. So let's just start here. Well, first of all, since we just talked UFC, you do have 3 UFC futures on this as well. You've talked about Umar Nurmagomedov's final 2026, being the champion at the end of this year, that bet out there. You have it on here plus 300. Is that what you put it at, or is that what it lines at now?
That's what I released it at with my clients last year in 2025. Yeah. So that wager lives on now. If you look at DraftKings today to get that, it's plus 250. So you're getting a little bit less of a price. And then the other two are.
That's still a nice price, though.
It is still a nice price because he's going to get to fight for the belt in the fall. And when he does, I don't care who it's against, he's going to win. Then I've got a lightweight champion, Arman Sarukian. That's a little of a flyer. He's going to need to have some things drop correctly, but I think that will happen because Gaethje and Topuria are probably going to go on the White House card, and then Sarukian will be in line for Topuria. And Topuria and Sarukian are very similar fighters in that they're both sons of wealthy men, and they don't need to fight. They fight for pride, and it's unusual that you get guys that are not from impoverished backgrounds and that are silver spooners that are this good. But Topuria wants nothing to do with Sarukian. And Sarukian just wants to fight Topuria, and that's why we took Sarukian. Then,
but you said even though it's a flyer, you did say 1 unit on that, one full unit.
I used a unit on it, and we used a unit on Weili Zhang, women's flyweight champ. She used to be the flyweight champ. She went up in weight class to try her hand against Shevchenko, and for her trouble, she got mopped all over the floor by Valentina. So now she's running back down to flyweight. She wants a shot at Mackenzie Dern, who used to fight here at the MMA lab, now fights out of California. I believe she beats Ms. Dern. When that fight goes down, Zhang will probably be a pick'em or maybe just a slight favorite. And by taking her now to win the championship, we're getting plus 155. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. So some futures there if you're interested in that. But also, even if you're not a gambler, right? When you talk to your friends at work or whatnot, and they bring up UFC stuff, a little bit of knowledge for you to throw out there to them on kind of what you think as well. Obviously, Major League Baseball is getting underway right now. Spring training, we've already seen some injuries. I call it the ham bone injury. Just to have fun with that name.
I never even heard of that, whatever that is.
And all of a sudden now you got 3 star players getting that.
Where is it?
It's in your hand. And from what I was reading yesterday, it's literally a bone like right here.
Uh-huh.
And when I was reading yesterday, it happens. So reportedly, Corbin hit a home run ball, and he's like, my hand hurts. So they went and x-rayed it and saw that he broke that. That's where the knob of the bat is right at. So when they hit something, the knob of the bat, if it hits it right, will break it.
The knob of the bat is down here.
Yeah, but I guess when you swing, if your hand moves down on it and then you connect with the ball and it moves a little bit, it's just this little tiny bone in there. But
these baseball players, a bunch of
3 hitters have that injury this year.
I'm just kidding.
Off of it. It makes sense, but yeah, don't grab the knob of your bat right there.
I'm fortunate enough to be on the VSIN by the Books program with Dave Ross and Jensen Lewis. Jensen Lewis, a world-class pitcher for Cleveland, pitched here for a short time.
Was he here?
He was here for a short time, and he explained the injury as not being anything overly severe, but something you're just going to have to deal with.
Well, from what I read, 6 to 8 weeks out, a surgery, 6 to 8 weeks out, which isn't the end of the world. But what I read is you don't get power back in your bat for a long time, 6 to 8 months before you get power back, which is interesting. That's the byproduct of it. So it's not a big injury. It's happening in spring training, so they're going to miss spring training, maybe the first week of the season or something like that. So it's not the end of the world. But it is concerning if you don't. For Francisco Lindor, he needs power. Jackson Holiday needs power, and we're relying on Corbin's power, Corbin Carroll's power as well. So it'll be interesting to see if that does hold true going forward. But I mean, this is kind of a thing in your futures that you have here. Obviously, everybody has the Dodgers winning the World Series, or at least getting to the World Series with all their talent and stuff. And you have the Dodgers plus 230 there. Now you got that, found that at Circa there.
Yes.
You said 2 units on that. Major League Baseball is a sport. These last 2 years, differently. But Major League Baseball is a sport where the best team doesn't always win the World Series. Last 2 years, that's been the case. They're going for 3 in a row now on that
Well, wait a minute.
side,
Are you
so.
telling me the Dodgers weren't the best team in baseball the last couple
No, that's what I'm
years?
saying. Last couple of years, the best team has won it.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
before that, you didn't always. The best
There's
team didn't always win it.
the rules are the rules. They get to buy the talent. They've got talent coming out of their every orifice. The Dodgers do. Why would I? I mean, especially at 230. Why wouldn't I take a little shot?
I'm surprised the odds are plus 230 is more of my point.
I don't think they will be for long.
That was more of my point here.
Yeah.
If you like that, that's a bet you probably should jump on and talk about, because plus 230 for a team that on all papers and everything is destined to win this World Series this year. So that's what kind of caught my eye from that perspective. But we have the World Baseball Classic coming up. Lou, I know you're big on Japan. You've talked about Japan here a lot. They won it last time. They have some big name guys on that team. Some of them aren't pitching. Some of them aren't hitting. But they're still going to be a part of the Japan team there, the big name guys out there. Japan is plus 320 odds here for the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, because the United States is the big chalk, and then behind, United States has Puerto Rico in their bracket side, and Japan has the Dominican. And you shouldn't underestimate the Dominicans at plus 450. I choose Japan for a couple reasons. First of all, one of the quadrants, they'll end up playing in Miami, but they host the games in Japan. Japan is a baseball culture. They're crazy about it. It's a form of national pride. This is a team that never stops practicing, and even with Ohtani and some of the American baseball players get there to interface and practice with the team. And so what I feel like I'm capturing when I capture Japan is a team that's going to make it to the Final Four for sure. It's their culture. They hustle. They want to win it. The players love the pride of the event. The country gets behind it. And really, for the last 8-10 years that they've had this event every 2 years, Japan's been an easy ticket for me, and I'm going to keep riding them until something else happens. But when they get to the Dominicans, I'm telling you right now, a Dominican Republic Japan game or a Venezuela Japan or a Venezuela Dominican, that's going to be great baseball to watch. I'm just saying, and that's coming up here in a month.
They just released the broadcast schedule here. It's kind of tiny, so I have to cheat here with my old eyes and everything. March 6th is the first
Beautiful.
game, coming up as well. Noon and 7 p.m. it looks like, and that's Eastern. That's Eastern time. So noon and 7 p.m. will be when the games go off.
That's just going to be so much fun to watch and understand that that's going to go on kind of during spring training and baseball season. That'll interrupt some of the major league teams' players that go to that thing.
Absolutely. And, the World Baseball, they got to figure it out, because some teams, if you're over, I think if you're over 35, you can't get insurance to go to the World Baseball Classic. And then some teams are denying their players to go play in it. Some teams are doing the right things, like the Diamondbacks. Carlos Santana, he can't get insurance, and Diamondbacks were like, still go play. He's part of that Dominican team. So, so it's weird how they're handling it, but they got to figure that side out as they move forward. But that is something nice about spring training as well. These world teams will be playing spring training warm-up games here against like the Dodgers or the Angels or whatever, leading up to the World Baseball Classic. So a little bit of a twist here this year.
Good, clean fun. They did it 2 years ago too, and it's great to see.
Yeah. So, but you like Japan in that one? I mean, the U.S. is the overwhelming favorites on that. I don't know.
And that's easy to understand because of the depth of all the talent that we'll have. However, they don't stress and worry about it and work on it for 2 straight years in between each tournament like Japan does. And so the team that's a team, as opposed to a team that's an all-star team banded together, is the reason I'm using Japan.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. And I want to see if there's a team that's going to use their pitchers in a way to protect them, it'll be the United States team, which I believe could get you in a little bit of trouble. Does that make sense?
Well, a lot of money.
Guys that might only pitch an inning, which could lead to trouble down the line type of stuff, as they're protecting the U.S. pitchers here for the baseball season.
Or they're
something I'm thinking
Or
about.
they're going to decide their competitive juices are flowing, they want to win, and they use a pitcher an inning or two too much,
Yeah, the
which is
opposite.
equally concerning.
Exactly. So it's going to be interesting because I mean, all the other countries are like, let's go win this thing.
That's right.
And I could see the U.S. going, I've got a Major League Baseball season I got to worry about, and it could affect you from that perspective. So that's kind of what worries me on the U.S. side, that we got to look at for that. But you're obviously big into this. You're looking forward to watching it. I imagine you're going to be watching every game and sitting down and catching it.
Yeah, because I'm looking at hockey right now, but it's regular hockey playoffs don't start till the World Baseball Classic's almost over.
Yeah.
So I'll be able to study my hockey while I invest in World Baseball Classic.
Since we're talking baseball, NCAA, obviously college baseball is getting underway right now as well as that season's going. You always tell us, and we talk it as well, you always tell us SEC, 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 SEC. But then I see your futures here, and you've got a UCLA bet on here. Now, explain to me what these bets are. Just to make the College World Series?
No, these are to win. This is to win the tournament, okay?
Win the whole thing.
Now, the DraftKings does have to make the College World Series, and I will get involved in that market as the season progresses because I'm looking down the line. Maybe it's some kind of a flyer. But these are teams right now that I feel that are priced such that in 2 months from now, these prices will be gone. Arkansas is one of them. They're currently 11-1 anywhere you shop, but it's at Circa they were 18-1. Now today they're 16.5-1. Why? Because I've opened my big yapper and told some of my buddies to get up to Circa and go bet some Arkansas. I think Arkansas are chokers, and I don't think they can win it. But if I can get them to the College World Series, I can monetize that ticket. I got LSU at 10-1. I got Texas at 15-1. I made 6 releases. Yep. 3 are SEC.
Yes.
So don't think that I've diluted my thought process on the SEC.
Well, no, just more. Oregon State doesn't surprise me that you have on there because they're consistently up there. The one that kind of caught me by surprise was UCLA in that list.
Yeah, UCLA is a team that was very good last year. They have great, strong pitching. Struggled with their hitting last year. I think they make some adjustments. And UCLA is a team that's a Big Ten team.
Yes.
But they are south of Mason-Dixon.
Yeah.
And if you look at every team I played, except for Oregon State, which is a really storied traditional powerhouse in baseball, all these teams are south of Mason-Dixon.
Well, you have North Carolina in there as well, 22-1 odds as well.
Yeah.
Half a unit
ACC.
on them. But the thing that worries me about UCLA and kind of what it caught my eye is UCLA is one of those schools in every sport since they've been in the Big Ten that complains about the travel schedule, how much travel they have to do, how unfair it is to them that they have to travel so much to the Midwest to do stuff and things to that. And it affects their play in every sport. It affected them last year in baseball as well. Do you factor any of that in?
No, because let's say UCLA, woe is me. They got to travel to Nebraska to play
do it all the time.
These teams, Nebraska, Rutgers, Michigan, they're all northern teams that are practicing in gyms. UCLA's practicing outside on beautiful green grass. Advantage team with the weather.
Okay.
College baseball, look at that Mason-Dixon. And if you see teams up here, forget about them. They're not going to the College World Series. One might, but they're not.
Is that why you think Arkansas is so high at Circa? Everywhere else it's 11-1. I'm assuming people are taking into account how they keep choking every year when they get to the regionals and things to that effect. Is that factored into these numbers?
It has to be. Well, Circa's the smartest sports book out there, really. They set their own numbers. They do their own thing.
Absolutely. For
everyone to be at 11 and Circa to be at 18, I thought to myself, now, wait a minute. Are they trying to get my money? Did they take bets on other SEC teams? Why is that line so off?
Yeah.
But it's early in the season. It's simply one unit. And I know that coach at Arkansas used to be at Nebraska, Dave Van Horn, and they were there last year. They've been in super regionals and regionals. They have a good program. I believe they make it to Omaha. And then if they can make it to Omaha, if I'm sitting at 18-1, I can do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, what do you call it? Hedging those a little bit and hedge that number and stuff?
I can monetize the ticket by using another team in the bracket to beat them or whatever.
Exactly. So, I just wonder because then, like I said, as a fan, I look at this more like a fan. Man, Arkansas chokes a lot, man.
Oh,
It's
boy,
like
do they.
devastating choking.
Oh, they're just
Not-
consummate
Yeah,
chokers.
not
At home.
oh, a call went the wrong way. Like, have
At-
the lead.
At home in regionals against teams they should beat.
Ball gets dropped that shouldn't be dropped, and it scores 2 runs. It's just devastating losses for them. Which every year, of course, it changes, so it's different teams and stuff like that. But it's like there's curse over them and everything for them. But baseball is getting ready to get started.
Yeah.
I saw Arizona. Has some hopes this year down there in Tucson. Your old school down there as well, and we'll see what happens with Arizona State. The emphasis on Arizona State this year has been pitching. They can hit the ball. Their pitching's been the letdown last couple of years. That's been the emphasis up here. So we'll see if they can make some waves.
Yeah, you notice I didn't use Arizona. I wanted to.
Yeah.
I want them to do well. I went to school there, but just 6 at this point is a lot.
Yeah.
It's all I need right now. I bet I don't add to this for 2 months.
Just to wait to see how they're
I
playing.
want to watch and see and learn because there's a lot of surprises. And somebody's going to say in 2 months, Lou, Oregon State, what do you do? Are you deaf, dumb, and blind kid, Tommy? Maybe. We'll see.
No doubt about it. Of course, Olympic hockey. I know you're going to be racing home today to watch that, as am I. Now the U.S. plays Latvia today, so I'm not
They're giving 4.5 goals. Forget about it.
It's not like we're excited to get there to watch that. They should dominate this game, obviously, and if they don't, it'll be alarming. But that's happening today from that side. So, do you bet on Olympic hockey?
I will in USA and Canada. I can't wait to watch that. That'll be really
No fighting in this, just so everybody know. There's automatic ejection if you fight. So this isn't going to be like the 4 countries, the 4-nation battle. No fighting. You get kicked out immediately. The overtime rules are different in this as well, but still obviously entertaining with the 2 countries.
And when you get Canada, U.S., you throw in Sweden, Finland, and Slovakia, and you have 5 awesome teams chock full of NHL players. It's going to be fun to watch.
I told you yesterday I kind of enjoyed the Italy game. Who they play? Sweden, I think. I forget who they played, but NHL All-Stars on one side, not one NHL player on the other side, and it was kind of I was like kind of rooting for them, Yeah, they got the lead and they gave it up 12 seconds later. But they got the lead. They were all celebrating it, gave it up immediately. But you got to kind of root for that on the other side of, hey, there's no NHLs over here with all these All-Stars on the other side.
So while we're talking about the Olympic hockey,
yes.
How will the Olympic hockey affect the NHL? Because a lot of the NHL players have gone to play the Olympic hockey. Will they be tired and gassed when they get back? And that's what I'm hoping for
injured.
Colorado.
Yeah.
Because Colorado's got players on the team.
The whole team's practically playing in the
Colorado
Olympics.
is just smoking everybody in the NHL. And so when you look at my NHL releases, there's 2 teams from the East and 1 from the West. It's Minnesota. Lou, why would you pick a flyer like Minnesota?
It caught my eye, Lou.
Yeah, because I'm looking for somebody that's going to have the wherewithal to compete with and or get by Colorado. I'm hoping Colorado comes back looking like zombies and a team can overtake them. I know one thing, it ain't Dallas. Dallas is like Arkansas. It ain't Dallas because the goaltender whose name begins with an O just can't play. He struggles so mightily in the playoffs. So I can rule out Dallas.
He's their weekend, yeah.
Plus their offense is a little off.
Defensive team.
You have to trust too much in Edmonton, and they don't play defense. And Minnesota plays defense and has a goaltender, and so I thought I'd give Minnesota a little bit.
Yeah,
of a look.
Avalanche right now. And Avalanche, if you haven't been following hockey, it pretty much dominated the season so far. 83 points for them, 78 for the Wild. But no, I saw that, Lou, and it piqued my interest. And I was wondering if it was a flyer or if you had real thoughts on Minnesota here.
No, I bet them because I want to cash a ticket. It was between them and Vegas. Vegas is a good.
And Vegas has made
too.
a couple big trades here.
They have, and they do, and they're active. And so Vegas is another team you're going to have to watch. And they play from the goal out, meaning they have a goaltender, they play defense in front of them, and oh, by the way, if they can score a goal or two, bully for them. So that's the kind of team I'm looking for to back in the NHL playoffs.
You have Tampa also on your release as well to win the conference there. Tampa being plus 190 going into this as well. But the other one that kind of caught my eye as well, is Montreal Canadiens that you have here, plus 1,400 at Circa right now is what you have listed here. Why the Canadians?
Yeah, again, if you look at the East, you're looking at Columbus, Tampa.
That's why I'm asking, though, because Tampa and
not
Montreal
Columbus.
are in the same.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry, Tampa and Montreal are in the same
They are.
conference.
They
you
are,
have
but
two bets
they
the
play
same
in
deal.
the East. So
Yes.
this is to win the NHL conference now,
okay.
not the Cup.
Yeah.
So they both play in the East, and I'm taking two East teams because I don't believe in Carolina. Columbus is a flyer that could show up. It maybe. I tend to think that Jersey, we haven't heard the last of them, but others don't like Jersey. But the Canadians are a team that's playing decent hockey right now, and from the vantage point of when I released that 14-1 seemed reasonable to me. I believe they'll make the tournament. And if, these Canadian teams that make the tournament, boy, we want a Canadian team to hoist the cup here pretty soon.
Absolutely not, Lou. I'm not on board with that at all.
I think it would be good
Blame
for hockey.
Canada.
I think it would be good for hockey.
They're
I know one
start
thing.
Acting like they owe us something. And
Somebody got to get that trophy out of Florida.
Well,
and as you can see, I
somebody's
did
gotta
take
do
Tampa.
that.
I mean, between Tampa and Florida, they've won the last 7 years or something.
Yeah, and they're always there. No, I don't think there's any doubt about that. We got to get it out of South Florida, of all places, let alone Florida, and things like that. But, that's the other side. I firmly believe this, that the Canadian teams, when they get to the playoffs, just extra pressure on them. With the whole country, with their fan base, we're going to be the ones to do it. And I think that hurts them as the playoffs go on. Toronto is the one team that I don't think it does, because Toronto fans are rabid regardless.
Well, Toronto fans know the futility of their team.
That's what I'm
they're
getting at.
not
so they're excited about it, but they're also going, we're going to lose. Something bad's going to happen, and we're going to lose this, So Toronto's a little different, but all the other Canadian teams, their fan base is just going to put so much pressure on them. And it's better that they play on the road.
Yeah, these kids grow up dreaming about hoisting a cup. I don't buy the pressure. I don't buy it.
But I just found that interesting, because Tampa and Montreal both being in the Atlantic there, and the East, they're going to be battling it out. Those are probably going to be two teams. You don't have any faith in Carolina, though, huh?
No.
Older team.
I think that Brenda Moore tends to hold the stick a little bit too tight. He's too intense come playoff time, and they play that way. You can't pull a pin out of their rear end with a pliers.
Any teams that you're looking at that are just like more, I'm going to call them long shots, but teams like the Utah Mammoth, they're in the wild card spot right now. Do you see them? Anaheim Ducks are in there.
Where are the
Seattle Kraken? Kraken's third in the Pacific.
Yeah,
right
the
now.
Crack. I could postulate
they're going to move back and forth, because everybody in the Pacific there, Golden Knights, Oilers, Kraken, Mammoth, and Ducks, they're all basically within a few points of each other.
And
so
the Ducks
that's
are
going to move
probably
around.
a year away, but
young team.
And I love the Mammoth. And I've been looking for a zip down hoodie that has a Mammoth logo.
I love the Mammoth logo.
I do too. And getting that new stuff is cool. And so I'm in the market for some Mammoth stuff.
Yeah, I just I make fun of the owner in the arena all the time, but no, that Pacific, even with the Knights, they're starting to pull away. They're 4 points up on the rest of those teams, but there's something missing on Oilers this year. Is that just because they've been to the finals the last 2 years and they're kind of hitting a wall, or is there something else going on with the Oilers?
Yeah, they've moved a few players. They've never been a from the goal team out. They fill up the basket with offense.
Yeah.
And it's always been defense, blue line, and goaltending for them, and they're just sluggish right now. I don't know what to think of them.
They've done that. They've done that the last couple of years also, and then they make it to the finals.
They had Draisaitl and the other
McDavid.
superstar McDavid. Playing end to end. So this year might be a little bit different.
I think
changed some chemistry.
I think the West
too.
is close enough that any of those teams can probably make a run to get to the Stanley Cup.
That's a good observation.
It's just a close deal. Now they have to get past Colorado, in terms of that. But in terms of everybody else, they're kind of just evenly bunched together, I feel.
I agree, and it's kind of like when you hear these guys talk about the golf tournament. Well, we're betting this is the everybody but Scotty market. That's what the West is. You can't bet Colorado at that price, so you got to find someone else, which is what I was trying to do with the Minnesota Wild.
Yep. So perfect. So those are your future releases. If you guys don't forget them, you didn't write them down, you're at work, whatever, and you're interested, gamblu.com. It's on the blog there on the front page there. for you as well. So, Lou, you're going to look forward to the Olympic hockey coming up. Olympics are off for another 2 weeks. Or, sorry, NHL's off for another couple weeks here. I'm being facetious when I say this, everybody, but let's see what his reaction is. Who do you got for the All-Star game this weekend, for the NBA All-Star game?
Is there a NBA game this weekend?
The All-Star game.
Yeah,
it's got two U.S. teams against and a world team as well, battling it out this weekend.
I do not use the word hate, but if I did, it would apply to the NBA. I greatly dislike everything to do with the NBA. I don't understand it. I've never handicapped it. Will I watch a couple of last 5 minutes of the NCAA basketball tournament?
Yeah.
Probably, especially because I got a little wager on the Cats to make the Final Four.
Do you?
But that's NCAA where they're young and they're thin and they're playing for pride and it matters to them. I can't say anything positive about the NBA, and that's why I was surprised today when I came in and Steve wasn't talking about the NBA, because usually
we talked about it earlier
in the segment before I come on, he talks NBA because he knows he's not going to have to hear from the peanut section from me during his dialogue.
Yeah, Lou, if you don't know what happened, we should put your camera on you. When I'm talking anything but basketball, Lou will be sitting there doing stuff, and then you'll see him go, and then back to work again. When I talk NBA, it's just focused.
Yeah, right.
no attention to anything. No, we talked about it earlier, and I don't know how you can even bet the NBA these days. Like yesterday, the Suns just inexplicably, set their two superstars and, changed that game. It's just like you just never know who's going to play, who's going to sit out. And
aren't the Suns doing better than people thought so far this year? Is that the truth?
They were the first team, and they already hit their over-under for Vegas. They're already over their Vegas number at the beginning of the year.
Is that right?
We had them bet at 30.5 games wins, and they're at 32 right now.
Did you have the over?
Yeah, we had the over. Yeah.
Oh, good for you. Way to go.
And
that's a good handicap.
Pays us back for the last 2 years.
Nobody asked about 2 years ago.
That's true. I shouldn't talk about that. I only talk about my earnings.
That's right.
On my future bets, I normally do $5 bets. On my future bets, I'll either do 10 or 20, depending on how strongly I feel about it. Stuff like that, and finally nailed one. Yeah.
I do have one NBA future bet on the Oklahoma City Thunder. I took it before the season started to win the West at maybe 2-1 or 230 or something like that, and so they're going to have to get by Denver and San Antonio. Who is it?
San Antonio and Denver would be the two major competition. It just San Antonio and the Thunder will be a fun series. You might sweat a little bit if they match up. But I think otherwise they kind of cruise again.
Interesting. I guarantee I won't sweat because I won't be watching it.
Just in terms of the money side, that. So Lou is checking out World Baseball Classic. Follow him on Gamblu as well. He'll do updates as they come out and things that he puts out. He puts it right onto his Twitter feed. You see it, you go to your apps and you get it done, or you see it and you look at your coworker and you go, "Hey, Timmy, remember the other day when you said you didn't like Japan in the World Baseball Classic?" And you go, no. Let me tell you why. And then you espouse the reasons why that Lou tells you there. Make yourself look smart out there.
Or you see it and you laugh and say, Lou's must have been in the hooch last night because you don't know what he's talking about.
Timmy, remember when you said Japan plus 320? You like that? Well, this guy Uncle Lou liked it too, so I'm going to go the other way. Whatever you want to do there. Lou, as always, thanks for joining us here today. You'll be back next week. UFC next week again.
Yes.
And, of course, we'll keep our eye on the Olympics and the baseball stuff out there.
Go Norway.
World Baseball Classic wrapping up here. March 6th, we have to wait till to get that started, but it'll be fun to watch.
Be great.
And everything. So are you looking forward to betting spring training?
I don't bet regular season baseball. Outside of some season over-under total wins, I'll make 2 or 3 in that market, because then I can look at this. You say sports page, it's the computer anymore. But you look each day and you can see, is your team won 3 in a row or lost 3 in a row. And I love the season over-under baseball bets. I love that bet.
I saw it yesterday. Diamondbacks I don't know what the gambling odds are, but a lot of publications are saying they're going to be 80 and 82 and that 500 range on the season. And I don't know. I'm trying to decide if I like that over or not. Because you'll be playing off of the injuries they have right now. Are they getting Corbin Burns?
Yeah, you got some pitching staff questions there that would really make me hesitate thinking they were going over.
Really? Even if you're getting those guys back, you'd hesitate a little? That's what I'm thinking. That's why I'm like, maybe we can get lucky.
Even so. And remember, last year the Diamondbacks started 83.5. They were bet up to 87.5.
Yeah.
And they came under easy peasy. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes this year.
Yeah, all right, Lou, talk me out of it. Fine. Hey, folks, Lou will be back next Thursday with us. Appreciate him, as always, Lou. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For everybody else, McCollum on Business is in the can already. It's up on demand. We did that early this morning. And then, of course, we come back tomorrow for a main event. Don't forget, Pit Stop is up. We started our 2026 season of the Pit Stop with Racing. Duels tonight there in NASCAR, so follow me at the Pit Stop Talk for all the racing stuff out there. And we'll see you later, everybody. Have a great Thursday night.